This is such a handsome little kid that you guys see on the left-hand side of my screen. And with a smile like that, I can't even fathom the idea of somebody being neglectful of a child, let alone any child, but especially when your child, this is your baby. I'm always getting on the fathers, especially in situations like this, because we're already marginalized as it is, as men, as fathers. So when we are caretakers, when we have the children in our possession, we have to do right by our children. This man is a selfish one. This man is probably somebody who does not deserve custody. This man probably has a substance abuse issue, even if that substance is alcohol. Because what would make this man do what he did in this story is beyond me. This is a short story, but let me give you the details and then we'll go from there. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from people.com, so shout out to them. Thank you for the article. Let's get through this. A toddler's life was cut short, so this baby did not survive. Beautiful little baby. That's probably my favorite picture of him right there. His life was cut short after his dad allegedly left him in a vehicle in the Florida heat, which y'all know of Florida heat. I've been to Florida plenty of times. It is hot and humid. It is hot and humid in Florida most of the time. Left him in the Florida heat for hours while he got a haircut and drank at a bar. I think that says it all in itself. That's completely selfish, and it cost his son his life. First of all, you could have took your son with you to get a haircut. Why did you not? I've done it. I used to cut my own son's hair, and then I would take him to the barbershop with me. I can tell y'all a funny story because he's old enough now. If he ever sees this, if he watches my channel, I watch his, but if he watches my channel, he'll see me say this. And I took him to a barbershop one time, and I brought him in, and I told him, I was like, I need you to sit right there and don't move. That's all I said to him. I went over in the chair while I'm sitting right across from him. I sat there and I was getting my hair cut. We're about halfway through the haircut. My barber looks at me and he tapped me on my shoulder and he kind of pointed at my son. He looked at me and I looked at him. I was like, what? And the barber started laughing. And he was like, man, your son just sits there like that? He's like, how do you get him to sit there like that? And I told him, I said, because I told him to sit there. Parenting and being a parent for me, it's not easy, but there's certain things. It's just like, I'm not going to debate with the child who the parent is. You just be the parent. That's why I say you don't have to hit a child. You don't have to threaten a child. You don't have to curse at them. You don't have to be mean or a domineering figure. You just have to be a parent. And that has to start from the moment that they're born. All I did was I said, sit there and don't move. And that was the end of it. And he sat there, and shout out to him because he's a good kid for sure, right? But my point about that was that I took him with me to get a haircut. One thing that I didn't do is if it was time to go to a bar, I didn't take my kids to no bar. I didn't have my kids if I needed to go to a bar or go to the club. That's when you get a babysitter, or that's when they go back to the other parent. He got a haircut, left his kid in the car, and then went and drank at a bar. On Thursday, June 19th, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, VCSO, and the Ormond Beach Police Department, OBPD, arrested the father. His name is Scott Gardner, on charges of aggravated manslaughter of a child and child neglect causing great bodily harm. So I don't see the father's age, but I'm assuming he's probably about 40 to 45 years old. What's up to you in the chat? How you doing? I'm assuming he's around that age. Oh, no, he's 33. Damn. He's way younger. He don't look 33. Does that man look 33 to y'all? Y'all said he might be a meth head. He might be a drunkard. It's got to be something because, boy, life done whooped him in the face. He's 33 years old. Charges of aggravated manslaughter of a child and child neglect causing great bodily harm, authorities said in a news release. The arrest came nearly 2 weeks after the death of his son, 18-month-old Sebastian Gardner, who's such a handsome young man. The toddler spent over 3 hours in the back seat of a hot truck on June the 6th while his dad, who's 33 years old, and I've always said that men under the age of 30 don't need to be fathers, and he's making just fathers in general look horrible, look bad. Spent time in Classic Cuts and Hanky Panky's Lounge, a barbershop and cocktail lounge located near each other in Ormond Beach, according to the sheriff's office. The Florida dad allegedly left Sebastian in the back seat of the truck with the windows down, no air conditioning, and a small battery-powered fan pointed at the toddler. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood said during an emotional news briefing on Friday, June the 20th. Scott allegedly left Sebastian in the vehicle around 11:30 a.m. as he went to get a haircut, according to a timeline investigators provided. He then finished his haircut and headed to the Hanky Panky's around noon, where Hanky Panky, that lets you know that this man is a damn idiot. Went to the Hanky Panky. Your son died because you wanted to go to the Hanky Panky. Fucking idiot. Where he stayed and drank at least until 2 p.m., according to police. During his time in the bar, a customer backed into a bartender's car, and Scott came outside to investigate the damage to the vehicle, investigators said. He did not check on Sebastian before heading back into the bar to order more drinks. Around 2:40 p.m., Gardner left Hanky Panky's, drove a short distance home, and then proceeded to call 911 to report that Sebastian was not breathing. My son's not breathing. A year and a half. Oh my God, he just had his eyes open. Oh my God, Sebastian. The father says in a recording of the 911 call. I didn't find the 911 call. If I get it later, I might play it. However, investigators said that the toddler was dead 1 to 2 hours before his dad contacted authorities. Following the call, an officer with the OBPD responded to the scene but could not perform CPR as the toddler's body had already gone into rigor mortis. Unresponsive, the 18-month-old was then taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. The toddler's temperature was over 107 degrees when he arrived at the hospital, leading medical personnel to estimate that the temperature in the vehicle peaked at around 111 degrees. After Sebastian was pronounced dead and the investigation into June 6th incident was underway, with Scott's account conflicting with the assessment of the hospital staff, the toddler's father headed back to the Hanky Panky's for drinks, according to the sheriff. God dang. Scott, along with his mom, stayed at the bar until almost midnight, he said. Witnesses at the bar said the pair did not seem distraught as you would expect for somebody who just had a child that passed away. One investigator said in a news briefing, adding to this, is consistent with the interactions that we had with Scott at the hospital. Investigators also said in the June 20th news briefing that they do not believe that Scott's mother was made aware of her grandson's death at that point. Though the police said that Scott ultimately confessed, the confession came after he gave multiple false accounts of about what happened the day his son died. This father is a human piece of garbage, Chitwood said during a news briefing. And he said that he is a lying sack of shit. And I'm going to read that because I like the fact that he was honest and said that. There is no logical reason why this little guy is dead, Chitwood continued of the toddler, later adding that the situation absolutely shocks the conscience. We've seen it. People forget their kids in the back seat, but this was completely different. This was intentional. That's what the charges are for. And again, I hope he gets a life sentence. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and then we'll go from there. How many of y'all think he needs a life sentence? Because I do.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
I am so glad that we have so many people, and shout out to y'all. Please hit that thumbs up. Please share this video. I'm so glad that so many of y'all are listening. Yes, you heard that right. After his son died, he went back to the bar to have more drinks. He went back to the bar to have more drinks. And he was with his mother and did not tell his mother, apparently, what happened. Isn't that something? Took myself off the screen. Hold on.
In Volusia County, deputies say this 18-month-old boy was left to die in a hot car by his father. The dad allegedly went to get a haircut and then a couple drinks while the little boy Sebastian was inside his car for more than 2 hours. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay is live outside of the jail tonight. Chris, the sheriff says it was 111 degrees in the car.
Yes, according to the arrest report, by the time the boy got to the hospital, he had a temperature of 107.8. Allegedly, one of the nurses says she had never seen a child with a temperature that high. Doctors believe the boy had been dead for at least an hour by the time he arrived.
Where's the baby? Where's the kid? This father is a human piece of garbage, and he's a lion sack. And he's exactly where he belongs to be, behind bars.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood not holding back. Speaking on the arrest of an Ormond Beach father, he says ditched his son in the car to drink at a bar.
He drinks his beers. He has a couple shots of Fireball. And then he comes out of the bar at 2:40 or whatever. And then you hear this frantic 911 call.
My son's not breathing. He's a year and a half.
That was the voice of Scott Gardner. His son Sebastian was allegedly left alone in a hot truck while his father got a haircut and stopped over at Hanky Panky's Lounge. Detectives say he likely passed away long before the 911 call was made, as they believe he was in the car alone for over 3 hours.
The nurses estimate that by the highest temperature of that car was 111 degrees.
The sheriff claims in the hours following Sebastian's death.
What does he do? He picks up his mother and they go back to Hanky Panky's for a few more cocktails, and they're there until almost midnight.
2 weeks later, Gardner was charged with child neglect and aggravated manslaughter. Today, he showed up in front of a judge for the first time.
He will remain in custody on the no bond for the aggravated manslaughter of a child.
Where he learned he'll stay in jail until the case is resolved.
Deputies say the father did finally admit that he left the boy unattended in the car. He told deputies he had the windows down, the AC off, and a small battery-powered fan pointed at the toddler. Reporting live in Volusia County, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
In Florida, a father has been arrested for leaving his 18-month-old son in a hot car to die. Officers say Scott Gardner left the boy with a small fan while he got a haircut. He then went next door to a bar. In all, he was gone 3 hours. The sheriff not mincing words about what happened next.
But it gets better. Father of the year, baby's dead, investigation is going on. What does he do? He picks up his mother and they go back to Hanky Panky's for a few more cocktails, and they're there until almost midnight.
Gardner is charged with aggravated child abuse and aggravated manslaughter.
Okay, so this is the one I had the arrest video on. I thought it was in another video. This is it. This is when they went to go arrest him. Check this out.
Back. Contact.
Go, Scott. Anything out here you should have right now? Wallet. Excuse me, puppy. So, Scott, watch your step. Be careful over here. Love you guys. Let me know where you guys are.
Yeah, down the road. Bye, because you're not going to come back here again.
Yes, a battery-powered fan. Yo, do me a favor, if y'all are watching, please hit that thumbs up. We're about to wrap up here in a second, so please hit that thumbs up.
And a father cuffed and hauled off to jail.
You're not going to come back here again.
He's accused of drinking while his little boy was dying inside a hot truck.
That little boy was just 18 months old. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. Tonight, his father is facing charges. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is live outside the Volusia County Jail. So, Hannah, how long was that baby in the car?
Well, John, according to the sheriff's office, that baby was stuck in the car for more than 3 hours. We are told Scott Gardner first went for a haircut, then hit up a bar in Ormond Beach. This is body cam video of Scott Gardner being arrested Thursday night by Volusia County deputies. If you look closely, the person cuffing Gardner is actually an Ormond Beach police officer. He is the one who tried to revive Gardner's son on June 6th.
Excuse me, puppy.
As Gardner is escorted out, someone offers support.
Sorry, I love you.
Someone else chimes in after.
Goodbye, because you're not going to come back here again.
According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, the 33-year-old was here at Hanky Panky's Lounge drinking while his 18-month-old son, Sebastian, was outside, locked inside a truck for more than 3 hours. During that time, investigators say Gardner also got a haircut. According to reports, Sebastian's body temperature reached 111 degrees. Gardner is charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and child neglect causing great bodily harm. According to the sheriff's office, he gave multiple false reports of what happened that day. I did speak with a neighbor who didn't want to go on camera, but she told me she spoke with Gardner and he told her that Sebastian died from a viral infection and a fever. He allegedly said he put his son down for a nap and he just never woke up. She also told me just the other night he was setting off fireworks in the front yard. She went over to ask why, and he said he was doing it in memory of Sebastian. Reporting live in Volusia County, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
In closing, this to me was very, very intentional, very sad. And it's just, man, this man clearly has his priorities all the way effed up. And I think that he deserves life in prison. That's the only thing that's going to suffice in this. And I think in Florida, that's what he's going to get. To Sebastian, to the little boy, let me show y'all my favorite picture of Sebastian, which is this one. Young Prince. R.I.P. I don't have nothing else to say because it ain't going to be nothing nice that I have to say. But I hope that man gets life in prison. Yeah, thank y'all so much for listening to the story with an open mind as well as an open heart. And from my heart to yours, I love you. And we'll see you guys on the next story. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the AFC podcast, okay? Thank you.